So this is Greg Troutwine with Maritime Reporter TV, and we're very pleased to be joined by Peter Dew, the Director of Autonomy with Kongsberg. And Peter, first and foremost, thanks for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
Okay, well, Peter, I'm sure we could sit here and have a conversation for many hours because autonomy is everywhere you look in the maritime space today. Can you give an overview of the importance of autonomy to Kongsberg today?
Yeah, I think I can do that. We're facing major challenges when it comes to sustainability. We have increased demand from our customers to reduce costs, more leaner operations, less emissions, all these things. But the fact is that autonomy is not new. We've been doing it for 40 years. A lot of the industry, they're familiar with dynamic positioning systems. That is autonomy as well. So the technology involved in autonomy has evolved over the years and become more and more mature. And now we're ready to put all these elements together to make fully autonomous large vessels to go into commercial operation shortly.
If you had to concisely describe the drivers for autonomy today in the commercial maritime space, what would those drivers be?
They're based on financial motives to improve their OPEX and also to improve the impact on the environment. So what we see, there are new players in the market, cargo owners, logistic operators. They don't see shipping as core business. A ship for them is just an asset that takes cargo from A to B. They're not interested in shipping at all. So they want simple solutions that are easy to maintain, low operating costs, and they need to be resilient and robust and sail on schedule.
There are many issues surrounding autonomy, whether they be technical, legal, but one that's near and dear to the hearts of many of our viewers is the future of the seafarer. In your mind, what does autonomous operations or autonomy on the waterways mean for the future of the seafarer?
For the future of the seafarers, I tell my kids they can get educated and become seafarers. If I have grandchildren in the future, they can become seafarers. We'll always need seafarers. And the majority of the ships in the future will be manned ships. But what we will see is increased safety, decision support, autonomous control, parts of the journey, for example. Working shift is not healthy for you. If you work shift, some reports says that you're living 10 years shorter than the average. So maybe in the future, the sailors will work daytime and there will be autonomous control in the evening and at night. But most people or most ships will still be manned. But some sailors will work in new places, like in shore control centers, monitoring and do mission management planning for autonomous ships.
When we talk about autonomy, I always like to bring the conversation to the theoretical versus the reality. Now, I know that or Kongsberg is involved in several projects that are not just research studies, they're actual projects to bring autonomy to the waterways. One of those being the Yara Birkeland. I know it's been publicized and we've written about it quite a bit, but can you give an overview and an update on where Yara Birkeland is today?
Yeah, I can do that. Recently, Yara signed a contract with Vard to build a hull. So it will be delivered to Norway in September next year, and we'll be ready with sea trials the first quarter in 2020. But I think what's important to emphasize is that Yara Birkeland is not a ship, it's a logistics solution. It includes shore-based handling equipment, which is also fully autonomous and electric, so there's zero emission from inside their factory until the containers are offloaded in the export port.
So we have the Yara Birkeland. I believe you said there was a feed study as well?
Yeah, we're doing a feed study now for a distribution company that distributes products to supermarkets in Norway. They have interrupted their logistics due to challenges with roads in Norway. So there's a tunnel going under the Oslo Fjord, which is closed about 300 times per year. It's one of the major roads in Norway. And they have a big warehouse on the east side of the Oslo Fjord, and now they're building a big warehouse on the west side of the Oslo Fjord. So together with them, we're creating a solution where they're using electric trucks from the east side down to the port. There will be full electric and also autonomous tugmasters taking the trailers on board electric self-propelled barges that are autonomous, taking them to the other side of the fjord, and they're offloaded there by the same equipment and taken by electric trucks up to their warehouse on the west coast.
When you look at delivering autonomous solutions on the commercial waterways, what do you consider to be the biggest challenges today, I guess just as far as gaining acceptance?
I think the biggest challenge is actually regulatory. It will take many, many years for IMO to have a set of regulations for autonomous ships. But what we see is very positive. They are interested, forward-leaning. They're doing a scoping exercise right now, and there are a lot of nations that are also pushing for this change in the maritime industry.
Well, Peter, this is a busy show. You're a busy guy. I appreciate your time. I thank you for stopping by.
You're welcome. Good to see you.
Okay. This is Greg Troutwine with Maritime Reporter TV.